What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Chasing Sunsets Chapter 8. Let's continue where we left off. At the end of the last episode, we left off with Jay getting some kind of shitty news from university, finding out she just got kicked out of the program because of her extended absence. So that's a garbage move on their part. Let's continue. This is later in the morning, but before we begin, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of the year. I don't think it's possible anymore, but I would really appreciate your support and feedback. If you got some feedback how I can make these videos better, definitely leave it in the description. I do reply to everybody as much as I can, so please let me know anything. Let's keep going. Standing with George on the bow of the sunset again invokes a strong feeling of deja vu. Feels like we've come full circle, back to where it all started. Oh, it might not feel like it, but we've come a long way from where we started, son. A little upset that the yacht's up for sale. Home is where the memories are, and that belongs to you and Jay now. At the end of the day, it's just a boat. I suppose. So, who's the buyer? Senator Pat McMurray. I don't think I've heard of him. I'm regularly reminded that he's a her. You look at George in mock surprise. George W. Wentworth, did you just take a cheap shot at a woman's appearance? Sorry, not sorry. Players are bad, but if absolute rock bottom is ever discovered, it will be by a politician. Shit, that reminds me, I've been meaning to tell you about. Before you can finish, a frumpy old woman appears with none other than Brian Ferguson. George Wentworth, I presume? Indeed, Senator McMurray. This is Alex Campbell. I trust you had a pleasant flight. Other than an unfortunate and avoidable oversight stalking my preferred scotch, the senator gives Ferguson a nasty side-eye. Oof. Suspect we can remedy that below. Shall we get down to business then? The sooner the better. I need to be wheels up in 3 hours for a trade summit in Taiwan. Reviewing the terms of the sale won't take long, but it won't leave much time for a tour. This is my aide, Brian Ferguson. He could do a walkthrough on my behalf, if Mr. Campbell would be kind enough to guide him. Alex, would you mind showing Mr. Ferguson around? The senator and George both seem oblivious to the hostility in your gaze toward Ferguson. Yep. Once you've shown him to the rear deck, you turn on him angrily. You fucking liar. You're not with the consulate. Really? It's so hard to tell these days. The lines get so blurry in DC. You don't really have any pull with the local cops, do you? Do you really want to test that theory? Oh, I'm getting there. Look, kid, relax. Just do as you're told, and everyone wins. Who doesn't love money? That's all this is about? You can't do anything about the lawsuit. You'd be surprised what strings a 6-term senator can pull. But I need to see Miss Cohen first. If I can verify your miracle drug actually worked, it might be worth her effort to get involved. We're supposed to fly out tomorrow. How am I supposed to pull that off? Ferguson looks up at the yacht's upper decks and bridge momentarily. Consider this my new temporary office. Just bring her by this evening. Yeah, I don't see myself doing that. Is he doing this on his own, or is the senator in the driver's seat? Crazy that the senator can afford a super yacht on a public servant's salary. It must be the gravy train you're telling me about at the hospital. Ferguson seems oblivious to your fishing for information on his grift. Now you're starting to get it. All you have to do is get over yourself and hop on board. Well, on that depressing as fuck note, do you want to see the rest of the boat? With Ferguson in tow, we return to the bow where the senator and George are wrapping up their chat. I assume there are no surprises, Brian? Everything is exactly as advertised, Senator McMurray. Excellent. Brian has power of attorney and will sign any paperwork on my behalf. That's why he can do it. Of course. Hopefully your trip to Taiwan is a productive one. Alex, would you be kind enough to walk Senator McMurray to her car? Certainly. This way. Reaching the bottom of the gangplank, you find Captain Oliver and Sophie looking on sadly. Oh. Said McMurray, this is Captain Oliver and his partner, Dr. Sophie Allard. He's the best in the business. He saved the boat and crew during last month's cyclone. My, what a distinguished looking gentleman. May she sail as true for you as she did for her former family, madam. Let's not be so hasty. She still needs a captain, and my standards are quite discriminating. Sophie's face remains implacable, but you know her well enough to detect her displeasure. Unfortunately, this captain is unavailable. Is that so? In my experience, everyone has a price. Oof, that's not gonna sit well. Oliver, sensing an imminent collision of wills, interjects with practiced ease. With gratitude, ma'am, my final and most anticipated voyage is standing next to me. How boringly pedestrian. Well, should you change your mind, you will not. Oof. She's gonna kick your ass. Well then, my car is this way, Alex. Alright, early afternoon. Judging by that last interaction, I'm guessing the sender's involved. Just judging by that right there, 100%. Early afternoon. Returning to the house, you and George join in Jay and Lisa in the living room. Well, that's that. Alex and I didn't spend a lot of time on her, but it hurts selling anything so close to mom and dad. Can't say I disagree. Sad, but necessary to obtain the liquidity needed for what comes next. Tell George, abso-fucking-lutely. George, there's something you all should know. Lisa looks at you searchingly for a moment before nodding. What is it, son? When I was in the hospital, I got a visitor who said he was from the consulate. Unsurprising, your incident was big news back home. Yeah, well, he gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. What do you mean? He implied that if I didn't have Lisa reinstate some patents, I could be arrested leaving the country. Did he now? He also implied that if we played ball, the Prizer lawsuit could be made to disappear. Now that is troubling. I have not received any feelers from law enforcement. There's more. More? The man was the same Brian Ferguson who was with the senator for the yacht sale. A long silence hangs over the room, expressions ranging from shock to outrage. Yep, you can see which one's which. Sounds like smoke and mirrors, but you have to be strategic about this. Is the tail wagging the dog here? I can't tell if you have two enemies or one. Strange bedfellows, because they see an angle on the tech we're trying to bury. So, what do we do? Well, we have two immediate things in front of us. Obviously, we need to identify and sideline any risk to the company and its officers. George has barely finished his sentence when Amanda strides in purposefully. The encryption has been removed from the flash drive provided by Mr. Mendez. While I'm not an attorney, I am confident you will find the data on it interesting. Are you going to keep us in suspense? And that's Snoop. What I saw incidentally did not seem helpful to their case. Let's hope you're right. Thank you, Miss Cohen. Beaming at you, Amanda turns to leave. Amanda, can I have a word with you when this is over? Yes, please. I have something important that I wish to discuss with you also. Jay shoots the two of you a curious look, but says nothing. Shall we get on to the second thing? Ah, yes. Just so. Let me begin by saying, I've taken some liberties with Sarah and James's final wishes. Here it comes. Oh, how so? Jay's expression is a study in practiced innocence. Well, at the time of their passing, they were working on their will, but it wasn't a priority. Whenever it came to dividing assets, they'd lose interest in it, promising to return to it later. So, what have we been doing for the last month then? Reconnecting, becoming the family your mother and father hoped would survive them. What made you think that it wouldn't happen organically in Boston? Do you remember any stories where siblings grew closer after inheriting a fortune? No. Actually, I can't. And what would have happened if we'd failed your test? It wasn't a test, Alex. It was a chance to reset things before responsibility muddied the waters. What if we'd both refused? Polygene would have been sold, and the assets split between you evenly. And now? George pauses for a moment and looks at you both gravely. Lisa and I are convinced the two of you have what it takes to step into your parents' shoes. You've both been very impressive, minor missteps aside. We both believe the company will thrive under your ownership. George doesn't make eye contact and seems deeply troubled. Having second thoughts about that, George? Not about the outcome, but in hindsight, I can't help but think there was a better way. Fixing us wasn't part of your job, George. It wasn't even Mom and Dad's. And as angry as I want to be, I'm pretty happy with where we are now. The end doesn't justify the means, but... You catch Jay's expression and see forgiveness in her eyes. I believe your heart was in the right place, Uncle George. Uncle? Why, thank you. A little bit more upbeat, George takes a deep breath. Now, I need to do some digging to see how real the threat is. The rest of you can pack. Let's see what Amanda's got for me. Oop, phone. Ah, Mallory's home safely. I need to take more puff pieces in the tropics. Because to literally no one's surprise, Boston still sucks. Ouch. Hey, it could be Baltimore. I was just on my way to chat with Amanda and make sure she's packed. Thanks to her eidetic memory, I'll hear it verbatim later. Do you miss me yet? I didn't even get to say a proper goodbye. Well, let's just make damn sure you say a proper hello. Are you looking forward to the surprise I had planned for when you get home? Are you gonna give me any hints? I kind of like the idea of torturing you with a puzzle. It's only torture if I don't figure it out. Alright then. We'll start near where we met. Aspen? And we'll finish where we said goodbye. We're obviously not going to Colorado or to Nalu. There's your hint. Huh. I'm working it. I'll figure it out. Interesting. Starting where we met and finish where we said goodbye. Trying to think where else. Did we meet her previously? I think we talked about that. I believe in you. Not gonna lie, I was hoping for a bit more spice in that hint. Were you now? I know. I'm greedy. Yeah, you are. Let me think. Afterwards, you and Colin will have the same claim to fame. The fuck? That's it. That's the hint. Colin Bobowski. I don't even know who that is. It is spicy. If Colin's an ex, I don't want to know. He's not. And believe me, I've only got eyes for you. Which is awesome, because they're the coolest eyes I've ever seen. But not gonna lie, I miss the other parts of you as well. Oh, like what? I've been thinking a lot about your Kegel game. You mean the ones I sustained for an entire 14-hour flight? I love you. Nice. Whee! Say it again. Can't spoil my girl. Well, your girl can't wait to spoil you. Now, I've got a lot of planning to do. We'll talk after you land. You said I love you. That's a big one. Wonder what she's got planned. I don't understand. I don't even know who that is. Slip away to find Amanda, and instead find Bianca staring forlornly out the window. Hey. Oh, hey there. You seem sad. Oh, don't think nothing of it. I knew this was temporary. You're really gonna miss us, huh? Some more than others. I'm gonna miss you too, B. But my offer still stands. I ain't been thinking about much else. looking at all the angles. Sounds dangerous. Normally, yes, but I think I've had enough of the expat life. Really? You'd move back to the States? Bianca hums wistfully to herself for a moment, staring out the window before answering. Uh-huh. Are you turning to the heat, or are you turning to brave the cold? Bianca cocks an eyebrow, and a hint of thirsty Bianca shines through. Given how warm I feel around you most days, I figure it'll be a wash. But you'll also be richer than God, and I'll just be a project manager in a big company. Bianca. Uh-huh. All the status in the world wouldn't make me too good to be your pool boy. Told you that, Alex. You know I will. There's no way I'm going to watch part 2 without you. It really is unnatural how you know exactly the right thing to say sometimes. Survival mechanism honed by years of growing up with a throat-punching sister. Seriously. A minute later. Alright, let's get into Amanda. Hey Amanda, what do you want to talk about? I have learned that Brian Ferguson is not with the consulate, which means he likely has no influence over the police. Not that I can determine. His diplomatic credentials indicate that he is an aide to Senator Pat McMurray. Amanda's eyes widen slightly in surprise. You are a savant. This vastly increases the odds that we will produce formidable offspring. No, I'm not a savant, Amanda. The senator perched the sunset, and Ferguson was with her. I see. That is the final piece of the puzzle. You don't have to be a savant to see that. I was unable to penetrate government systems, but I have had more success with his bank account. Wait, what? You hacked the bank account of a federal employee. Can it be legitimately called hacking if his password is password1234? It used to be just baloney, but now they make you add a number. I understood that reference. In any case, Ferguson wants to be you. To what end? He thinks verifying your treatment will prove her sitting on a game-changing technology. Even so, Polygene remains privately held, so he and the senator lack any means to exploit that. You're right. He has shown zero interest in the company, only the technology. That detail seems significant. Can't let you meet with him. I'm going to tell him to get fucked. Missed opportunity. I believe this can be turned to your advantage. How is it a missed opportunity when we don't even know what he's able to do? He is merely a conduit. Any real influence lies with the senator. Is it bad that I kind of hoped he actually had the power to get the lawsuit dropped? Hope springs eternal. In spite of your reservations, I still wish to meet with him. Yeah, no. Everything about that feels like a bad idea. I made a promise to Mallory. Alex, with the big picture becoming discernible, it is time to make an important decision. Oh shit. And here we go. Is saving Polygene enough, or will you unravel the entire corrupt system? Ooh, we're struggling with just the former. Now you want to boil the whole ocean? Greater impact does not require greater effort. We must simply plant a more destructive seed. If it takes root, the system will destroy itself. We must decide before meeting Mr. Ferguson. So many questions. What are the risks? Powerful people with many connections will bleed massive wealth. It is also possible that they will not take the bait or discover who set them up. Well, that sounds bad. I should definitely call a meeting so we can discuss it. Planting the seed involves distorting the truth, and George or Lisa could be disposed under oath. Well, that's what makes me nervous. Weaponizing a lie seems more like them than us. Yet, it has to be widely embraced by law enforcement in the execution of undercover work. Go home or go home, or let's play it safe. Oh yeah, I disabled the thing to see the meters. Go big or go home, or let's play it safe. Oh wow. Oh, sounds like a really big decision for the rest of this, and probably shapes the rest of the playthrough. That is a big choice. It's a very, very big choice. So it's one I'm going to have to think about, and we'll make that decision in the beginning of the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you like the series so far. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. And a big thank you to everyone who does support me on Patreon. Appreciate every single one of you for your love and support. I'll catch you all in the next one.